John, 1992, 1, 2, 3, 1A. Kid being bullied. Eric, now let me just say that I am an amateur and I have problems controlling the medium text. But what I'm selling here is the world and the ideas behind it. So I hope that this simple overloaded outline is enough. I just want to say, a bucket. It hops out from his locker and splashes a great stain of green paint out on our second hero's cloth. His name was Eric. Eric is a 17-year-old student often marked as being a geek. Of course, as the word hero subjects, he isn't. Eric is much more of a nerd than a geek. He is a white, brunette, game-loving kid who sometimes gets bullied for being different. He has one friend named Kevin and a single parent he barely speaks to. Cassie was Eric's boyhood dream. He often stared at her in class, imagined her soft blonde hair waving about as she told him she loved him, her tender lips pressing just his and her smile lighting up the day. Every day, Sean, her boyfriend, was a bully. He had noticed this behavior in Eric, the way he looked at her, the way he talked to her. Cassie thought that it was cute for Eric to have a crush, but Sean grew ever more jealous. He started to mess with him and pushed him and his friend Kevin around. Kevin and Eric were friends from junior high. He was into games just like Eric and collected some games posters. They both did. Eric became frustrated with Sean's acts. Kevin, on the other hand, saw it as a simple annoyance. He didn't much care about the pranks that Sean pulled. Ever since his mother's death 2 years ago, Eric has had trouble with his father. They didn't talk anymore, whereas before they were so close. Eric's father was growing more reclusive by the day. He spent most of his time at work or in the study. He always kept their conversations short and refused to look his son in the eyes. Eric's grades dropped. His father seemed to think of him as a creep and he was hopelessly in love with a girl who barely knew he existed. The only satisfaction he got from their relationship was the care she had for him after Sean's stupid behavior. Sean was laughing at Eric as he removed the gooey liquid stains from his black hoodie. "Thanks, Sean," he said sarcastically. "I've been meaning to get a new jacket, and now I have an excuse. Now I have an excuse to get a new jacket." Sean leaves laughing. Eric scrapes out as much of the goo as he can, then locks his locker. He goes to the bathroom and takes of the stained black hoodie, revealing a black t-shirt with the insignia K-Rock on it. He takes a deep long breath and looks in the mirror. The think is running, his head is tightening. Eric is withholding a great deal of frustration in him. He tightens it into a knot, and then he lets go, breathes out and splashes some water on his face. Eric walked back to his locker and scraped what he could out from his notebook. He borrows a sponge from the janitor's closet and starts cleaning. The janitor was out sick and Eric didn't want to wait a half a week while whatever it was that the goo smelled like sunk into his books. By the time he had finished scraping and polishing the metal walls of the locker, class was almost over, and he grew very tired. He took the cleaning tools back and returned to his locker. As he was walking back, the school bell rang. Class was over. The kids were running out when out of nowhere she spoke to him. "K-Rock, I love that show." It's the voice of his crush Cassie Becker. Unlike John, Eric wasn't a genius. He was bright and he used to have good grades, but now they were slowly fading away. He became less interested in his classes, and became more focused on comic books and TV games. One of the only things left for him to do in school was detention, but the principal thought that it would do him good if he helped out in the art department. Eric took the offer because of Cassie. Eric had learned that Cassie was in charge of props, so he saw an opening to get to know her. He figured, if she knew him better, then maybe someday they might end up together, and so Cassie and Eric became friends. This, of course, is what led to the situation with Sean. "Eric, you do. What's your favorite style?" "See, I don't really know much about music styles." "Well, what's your favorite group?" "Guns N' Roses." "Really? You're kidding." "No, I really like them." "Well, I guess that Godfather-themed guitar solo was nice. But come on, after the third or fourth song it gets kind of boring." http://www.youtube.com/watch B=Lissy Suckstick. "Cassie, I can listen to them for hours." "What do you like, Eric?" "I'm Zeppelin all the way." "Really, Zeppelin?" Eric looks at her in a strange way. "Are you really comparing Led Zeppelin to the Guns N' Roses? You cheerleaders really freak me out." "Shut up, I'm not a cheerleader," Cassie spouts. "Sure you're not. What's that supposed to mean?" "I'm just saying you're dating the school quarterback. You always hang out with the cheerleaders and you practically spend all your time bending over." Cassie slaps him over the head angrily. "Sorry, that came out wrong. What I meant to say was that you use your legs a lot." Another slap. "Do a lot of leg work." "Oh, come on. How could that possibly have come out wrong, Cassie?" "That one so you learn your lesson." Guns N' Roses 1992. http://www.youtube.com/watch. B equals PS5SSSSJHCG. http://www.youtube.com/watch. B equals Oak4HWNFN2Y. Led Zeppelin 1992. http://www.youtube.com/watch. B equals 220 FMLI 4W9K. 2A. Kid finds the element. Eric. 2B. Bruce finds out about the electroshock. Jim. The car's engine stopped. It was black and modern vehicle. The car door opens and out comes a foot. Its shape and color suggests that it was that of a serious but overactive man. He came out. Agent Langton arrived at the school. Around him there were policemen. Far less than the men at the stadium, but more than one might expect at a place like this. The gym fire's origin was discovered. After the fire inspection crew looked over the remains of the gym, they determined something fierce. To them, the fire was impossible. The metal on the lockers was melted down to liquid and re-hardened within minutes. The scorch marks on the gym originated from the inside of the wall. They all lead through the halls back to the locker room. The way that the burns were shaped, it was almost as if something hovered through, grappling onto the sides of the building, and with fire it pushed its way out through the windows, who cracked and melted at the same time. On the inside of the glass there were small taints, giving you an idea of how this flame was possible. There were clear signs of induction. For those of you who don't know this, the process of induction is when you condense magnetism onto a single spot. Induction heat is actually the way transmutation is possible, the process of changing one element into another. The young agent. Have you ever had that feeling, where all the world around you is dead but only you are alive? Well, that's how he felt at this moment. The world around him was still and unfriendly. The news of the explosion had rattled him up, and quickly he became his best. All parts conscious for this one mission that would represent his country's safety. The young agent was thrilled and scared at the same time. He was scared of the enemy, he was afraid from retribution, and even cautious, alert so that he wouldn't fail. Thinking about it, the responsibility, the potential for humiliation, he became strict with his thinking, always looking for an angle, always evolving it. He split and segmented every part of his thoughts. His mind was keen and the world around him was not. He had to bring it in order somehow, and how could he explain all this here around him?